Sorry. Sometimes you just gotta just take a moment in life, because not all the time that you're able to look at your past and look at your work and say, job well done. You were right. Well, Ryan, today's one of those days where I look back at some of our tweets and some of our conversations, and I'm like, you know what, Ryan? We were right. Not just about Peyton Watson. We were also right about Jamal Murray. And at the end, it might have took a little bit to get here, but man, the Denver Nuggets, they're very good. And this game, I think, was very fun. And there's a lot of stuff we got to get into. Holy cow! What a clutch win for the Denver Nuggets. That's Ryan. This is Swipa, and this is Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Nuggets. This is your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, and I'm here with Ryan Blackburn and Swipa. We are here to talk about the Denver Nuggets getting a win versus the New Orleans Pelicans in New Orleans on the road. No Nikola Jokic, no Cam Johnson. Wait. Ryan, I have word.
Oh, yeah?
I have word.
Oh, yeah?
Peyton Watson is him. Wait, there's another message coming through.
Oop.
Jamal Murray is him. Wait, there's another message coming through. It's a prediction. Somebody get a pen and paper. When the Denver Nuggets get healthy again in February, boy, is coming in slowly. The Nuggets are going to win the title. Oh, smokes.
Holy
the Denver Nuggets get yet another win in the clutch after not being able to win in the clutch all year. And as y'all know, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I'm Swipa. That is Ryan Blackburn. And boy, oh boy, we got a great NBA game tonight, Ryan.
I want to address this comment real quick. They beat the Pelicans. Calm down. No. Like, why? Like, there's no reason to be calm. Like, we're going to have fun with it. This is the most important thing in this stretch, especially like every game that you win without Nikola Jokic is a gift. Every single one, and you can celebrate it no matter what the situation is. Pelicans were relatively healthy tonight, and I thought that they actually played some pretty decent basketball. I don't like Zion Williamson. I think that he's taking away from Derek Queen in a lot of the possessions that they need to go through him. But like Trey Murphy was really good. Jeremiah Fears was meh. Sadiq Bey was pretty good off like in their starting lineup. Jordan Poole hit some huge shots off the bench. Yves Missi was dominating in the paint at times. But like this was a tough game. It was. And like Denver, yeah, is it going to help them win a championship? I don't know. But like it was still a really fun game. And we got to see some really awesome performances from Jamal Murray and Peyton Watson.
And I think what matters here, everyone, is why you like sports. You know, and I think sports fans, we have gotten so wrapped up in the media, and I mean, we're a part of the media, but like we can do a better job at this collectively. Not every game is about winning a title, and not everything is about like, oh, hey, you know, you took care of the New Orleans Pelicans. Like, what does it mean versus teams above 500? And guess what? The Nuggets are 13-6 versus teams above 500. They have the most wins in the NBA versus teams above 500. They also are missing the best player in the world, Antonio Daniels, who is a tremendous broadcaster, color commentator for the New Orleans Pelicans. He kept bringing it up every single opportunity. They're missing the best player in the world. So obviously the Pelicans have a better chance today than they ever have. And I think watching Jamal Murray come back from an illness, right, drop 35-9, and then watching, and this is why basketball's fun, watching Peyton Watson go from a couple years ago, like, hey, people literally made fun of the Nuggets taking Peyton Watson at 30th overall. He averaged 3 points a game at UCLA. And there were some of us that were really high on him, saying, like, we see the potential. But the fact that you get this 8-game stretch from Peyton, which he's shown that, like, hey, not only am I like a good defensive player, and I'm not like just a decent player, I'm like, I could be a really, really good NBA player for this team. And then on top of that, you see a resurgence of Zeke Naji and him playing well with this team, Aaron Gordon playing good defense down the stretch, and better yet, Jalen Pickett with 16 huge points today, Ryan.
Man, it's just a lot of fun performances. And like, there's a variety of different ways that we could go. Pickett's clutch threes were amazing throughout this game. It just felt like every time the ball was kicked out to him, it was a breakdown by the Pelicans that they had to give up, and he made them pay for it. The Aaron Gordon defense against Zion Williamson down the stretch was really, really impressive. Just loved what I saw from the Nuggets. They went toe to toe, and they were disadvantaged. I wrote in the rundown that they were out rebounded 50-33 tonight. They're down a couple centers. They're obviously overwhelmed from a physical and like a size perspective in a lot of these cases. So they got to find a way to win a different direction. And they started a couple of different point guards. They started Aaron Gordon at the 5, and they just gutted it out as they have been wont to do. So, I mean, hard to hate on much of any of it, man. Like this is exactly what you're hoping for as a Nuggets fan. A lot of different guys stepping up, taking on the responsibility led by your main duo right now.
And just to go through the game script a little bit today, there were some truly phenomenal plays made down the stretch of this game. And, you know, we obviously don't get an opportunity to talk too much about Tim Hardaway Jr. We do, but he's not the usual lead on the show. But yeah. Tim Hardaway, by the way, started the fourth quarter, Ryan. They ran with Jalen Pickett, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, Spencer Jones, and Zeke Naji. Tim Hardaway had an insane DHO pull-up 3, basically, to start the quarter off to tie him. Then he got fouled on another jumper, and it was an immediate 5-0 run to start the quarter. And they weren't able to sustain that lead, but it was just little moments like that changed the course of the game. And then another big play that I wrote down, Ryan, there was an opportunity after TSJ got 2 points on a drive, a great drive. They ran a little short pick and roll on the Pelican side, and I think it was Eve Nisi. He got the ball in the dunker spot, was prepared to take it up for a dunk. Peyton Watson came out of nowhere and blocked the shot. And then Jalen Pickett on the other end got a phenomenal drive to the basket. There were just more than this, multiple plays that were made back and forth. And this is how much I think David Adelman now believes in Peyton Watson, because what happened was the Nuggets got down, I think 6 again in the fourth quarter after a little stretch from the Pelicans. And he put Peyton Watson in with maybe almost 10 minutes left in the quarter.
So reason for that was because Spencer Jones fouled out with like 10 minutes left to go. Yeah. And rather than go to Aaron Gordon in that situation, which I think would have been the natural thing for David Adelman to do in that situation, like Aaron Gordon's under a minute restriction. So they're trying not to play him 35 minutes in a game against the Pelicans on the road. I totally understand that. They kept him right at 30 like they did in the last game. And I am not surprised that they went to Peyton, but it's just a lot of minutes, man. It's a lot of burden and responsibility. And he immediately got in the game and made some plays off the drive. And like it ultimately didn't work out perfectly, but like Jamal comes in immediately after that and calms everything down and gives Denver like some massive shots. And like I love the way that both Jamal and Peyton approached that fourth quarter. And like Peyton did it a lot on the defensive end against Trey Murphy. Murphy was having a really great game, and he had to match up with Murphy as much as he could down the stretch. But Jamal, I'm just so impressed with him, man. Maybe we should talk about him in the second segment, but like it was so like the way that Peyton was talking about it post game was he was like literally like on his deathbed, like waiting to have to like come back from a sickness that he was having to fight his way back from. I don't know how sick he was. It seemed like he was pretty sick, but him to come back in this game and give up like 35 and 9, like that's a tremendous performance.
Yeah, and it's also the way that he did it too. And we'll talk about this here in a little bit as well. Ryan, I brought this up on my show just not too long ago. They started blitzing and trapping Murray in the fourth quarter, and I think the Nuggets scored on almost every single one of those possessions. Mind you, without Jokic or Valanciunas in the game, which for me makes a total difference on if Jamal Murray is able to execute at that level versus those kind of coverages without having a truly elite center on the floor with him or just a really good center. And even the way that he was able to floor map in his mind and to take advantage of what the defense was doing from a passing standpoint. And he also did a super great job of demanding either you pull out all the way to half court with me or I'm getting a switch. Either way, I'm going to burn you, and we're going to talk about that more on the other side, Ryan, because I think there's a lot of notes to take from that, y'all. We'll be back for more here at Locked On Nuggets. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Now, Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern have become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Open the FanDuel app during the Happy Hour. It always brings something new, boosts, bonuses, and surprises. The timing is perfect. Right before the game, right before the weekend start, it adds extra energy to Friday night without ever overthinking it. And I love that new feature, you all. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. The new year is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and feels. That's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track, from bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room. Wayfair makes it easy to start the year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need for a full home refresh all in one place. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and budget. Now, I picked a new bedding and accent pillows from Wayfair, and it's completely changed how my bedroom feels. It's cleaner, calmer, and more put together, y'all. I love a comfy setup in my room. I want to feel good when I walk in my bedroom, and Wayfair has so many options for somebody like me and for you. So get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. We'll be back for segment 2 here at Locked On Nuggets. We're back for segment 2 of Locked On Nuggets. Shout out to you all. Thank y'all so much for joining Ryan and I for your special post-game episode talking about the Denver Nuggets beating the New Orleans Pelicans, y'all. Also, make sure if you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple iTunes, give us a 5-star review. That way more and more people can listen to the great content being made here at Locked On Nuggets. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, share, and subscribe, as we are on the way to building to 15,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And if you want more great content, y'all, thank you for making Locked On Nuggets your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go join our new Everydayer Club. All you got to do is go to lockedonnuggets.supercast.com, and you can tap in with us on Discord and other platforms, and you can listen to all the great content being made by Ryan Blackburn, Matt Moore, and myself. So, y'all, let's get back to the game. So, Jamal Murray. Look at this. Ha! Shout out to Swipa and Ryan for calling me a star 2 years ago. I wish you were here, Peyton. Trust me, brother. Jamal Murray was phenomenal today, man. What most impresses you about where he's gotten to as a basketball player?
I think it might be the floor mapping, honestly. I think it's a good call out from you in terms of what he's understanding about the game and what his responsibility is in this situation. He's the point guard, and Pickett's playing off ball in a lot of these lineups. Now, sometimes he'll have the ball in his hands and he'll attack a matchup, and did a really good job with it. But for the most part, like, Peyton Watson is a second side attacker in a lot of what they're doing. And Jamal is the initiator. He's setting things up. He's setting the table. And so he's putting everybody into a really good position based off of like how he's reading the game and what he's putting together. And it's been really nice to see like him not just impact the game as a scorer, him not just impact the game as a passer. He's doing everything. He had 3 steals and a block today. Like he really is doing everything out there for this Nuggets team and shooting in a very efficient way. 11 of 19 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, 8 of 9 from the line. He's going to be kicking himself about that one missed free throw. But I mean, it has just been another game in the long line of games from Jamal Murray this year that prove that he's an all-NBA talent.
I just can't be more impressed, Ryan, with how efficient he is as a basketball player now. I don't think people realize this, but like Jamal is like taking an insane amount of on-ball responsibility this year. And if you look at some of the traditional sites, like Jamal Murray is like ranked as a top 15 player, like rather consensusly across a lot of these different platforms. But one of the things I think needs to be talked about with Jamal, do you realize that Jamal Murray, for all of the things that he does, for the amount that he has the ball, he only has a 4.1% turnover percentage on shots, which is 79th percentile, but he also has only a 9.5% turnover percentage on passage, which is 86th percentile. That's like, that's insane. Like, that's not SGA on shot attempts, like, you know, because he's not turning the ball over at all. But for what Jamal Murray has to do, and the fact that he throws so many passes every single game, and just raw turnovers, Jamal Murray is only averaging 2.3 turnovers a game this year on 7.5 assists. That's insane.
I'm going to go out on a limb. So the time of possession metrics on NBA.com have him as the player with the 7th most amount of time of possession when he's got the ball in his hands. He's averaging a lot of time, like average seconds, like with the ball. He's also like dominating the ball in a lot of these cases. That used to be a thing. And sometimes I think probably is still a thing that a lot of people are bothered by, especially folks that really just want the ball in Jokic's hands with him operating as much as possible. But when Jokic isn't out there, what do you want to do? What do you want to see? Well, you want Murray to not give up the ball. You want him to be able to maintain possession. Well, you were talking about how he was at half court and they were trying to double him and he was stringing out that possession for as long as possible. It gave Denver the maximum amount of advantage that he was holding the ball for as long as he could and forcing the Pelicans to commit to something. And then it allowed him to read the defense and do the opposite, do what they were not wanting him to do. So just really impressed with the poise, really impressed with the, like we're talking about the health and the health side of things, knock on wood, obviously, because like he's been mostly healthy for the entire year. This last little bit has been due to sickness, but like he has handled a heavy workload for this Nuggets team. And the only guy in the starting lineup that has been able to stay on the floor with a relative amount of consistency. So the Jokic thing, of course, is like, that's a fluke thing. I'm not trying to denigrate his health, but like Murray's stepping up and we've had years where a lot of the times the other starters are all picking him up. He's the Master Splinter meme where he's the one now carrying the Ninja Turtles. It's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, I also want to note this, and I shared this with Ryan before the show, but I think this is important. It's only 5 games, but Jamal Murray this year without Nikola Jokic, he's averaging 27.8 points per game, 11 assists, 5.8 rebounds, and he's shooting 47% from 2, 41.5% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line, Ryan.
The 47% from 2 is a little low. He's had some games where he's really had to like just gut it out and just get up a shot because Denver was in a situation where somebody had to shoot it. So, I mean, credit to him for like maintaining that. And like throughout the entire season, the one thing that has really kind of stood the test of time for Jamal has been his 3-point shooting. And like, he's just an unbelievable 3-point shooter this year, man. Some of the threes that he hit tonight were really important. He forced a timeout for New Orleans early in the fourth quarter. That side step 3, step back 3 that he had against Zion Williamson isolating, huge. And then like the floater that he had after Aaron like coughed up the ball. The ball was a loose ball in between 4 different guys, and Murray came out with it and hit a floater from 20 feet away from the basket. Like, who does that, man? It's just like Steph Curry does that, frankly. Like that's a Steph Curry play. So shout out to Jamal for just becoming Steph Curry this year.
Yeah, shout out to Jamal, man. I think he's having an all NBA season this year. Like, his numbers are insane. He's basically at 26 on the season now on 7.5 assists a game, and he's shooting lights out across the board. And some of those shots that he hit today in the clutch, man, like, again, one of the things that Jamal Murray has done a phenomenal job at this season. If you send too much help at me, I'm going to kill you as a passer. So be careful. But if what happens is if you don't and I switch and I get a big on me or a guard that is not a great defender on me, you're cooked. And he got Derek Queen on an island multiple times today. I'm talking about bink, 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 step back, splash. There goes Jamal again.
Man, the technicals with him are so good. Like he's like you were talking about, he's so efficient. One of the things is he's just so efficient with his movement now. And like, he doesn't have to do so much in order to generate space. He's just really effective at generating space by using his hesitations, by using his change of direction in a really effective way. And he has every move in the bag. So you overcommit on one direction and he can absolutely go to the other and fall away and hit some insane shots.
On the other side, we're going to talk a little bit more about this game, but also the Nuggets are currently tied for the 2 seed in the Western Conference. That's interesting. Something to talk about. We'll talk about all that more here at Locked On Nuggets. Finding a doctor you actually like can feel like discovering a diamond in the rough. You want someone in network nearby and with availability, but you also want a doctor who really listens, make you feel comfortable, and explains things clearly and helps you walk out feeling confident about your next step. Your diamond in the rough doctor exists, and finding them is easy with ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can choose someone you truly connect with. I love that you can search for specialty or symptoms and quickly find the right fit. You can check the verified patient reviews and get a real sense of the doctor's vibe and communication style. If I needed to book care fast, this is the first place I'd go. It just makes the process simple. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message. We'll be back for the final segment here at Locked On Nuggets. We are back here for Locked On Nuggets, final segment. Shout out to Ryan doing a little bit of post-game show, replacing Matt Moore, who needed a much-needed break. Ryan, this game was very interesting because the Nuggets were down, it felt like, 6 points or 7 points for basically the whole game. And their offense was good. Their defense was trash. They had a 135 defensive rating in the first half. And I was just like, Adelman didn't have Deron Holmes in the lineup today, and you said you weren't surprised in our group chat, or you were expecting it, but I was just kind of like, all right, well, they're playing like Eve Misi and Zion and Queen. They probably need some rebounding. And thus the numbers also said that, because today the Nuggets only had 5 offensive rebounds.
Wait. You're going to go get Deron Holmes for rebounding right now?
I mean, it's just length, even on the switching and what they do defensively. I mean, today the Pelicans had 16 offensive rebounds. I thought that was going to cost them the game.
No, for sure. And like, I mean, this is going to be a tough matchup for that reason. Like the one thing about the Pelicans that people don't really fully appreciate is that they are like really athletic and really physical at times. And with Zion, he's a load to bear. It's very difficult to keep up with him. And you've always got to keep a body on him. And then they've got a couple of bigs that, like, Denver's starting a whole bunch of 6'7" and 6'8" dudes. And Derek Queen, I mean, he's 6'10", 6'11", and just a sizable player. And then they've got a couple of guys, like, it's always with Denver, especially when they're switching, they're going to be very vulnerable on the defensive glass. And so not a surprise that, especially when they're the guys that are switching out onto those players like Derek Queen or Jamal Murray, Jalen Pickett, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., like, Denver's got a lot of guards in the lineup, and they've got a lot of undersized guys in the lineup when dealing with other bigs. So it's one of the byproducts. When Jokic comes back, when Valanciunas comes back, this is going to be less of an issue. But again, I'm not surprised about Deron not being in the lineup, just because, like, they need, like, they found an identity as a switch team, and like Duran can do that, of course. But with the way that Zeke has played overall, and he had a poor game tonight, but like with the way that Zeke has played overall, I think that he has earned the right to play some extended time. And so you kind of wonder, okay, how like how much athleticism, how much physicality do you need if you trust Spencer Jones, if you trust Peyton Watson, and you can slide Peyton to the 4. You've got Aaron already playing the 5. Like you just run out of minutes really quickly if you want to play those guys as much as possible. So I'm not surprised. I do think they should probably play Duran over Hunter, for example, but Hunter Tyson's played and done pretty well for Denver over the course of these last couple of weeks too, kind of surprisingly.
Yeah, I think that they're really just kind of like manufacturing lineups at this point. Like even when you looked at the bench today, I saw during the timeout, I was like, man, there's a lot of empty chairs in there right now still, like no Jokic, no Cam Johnson. What's so funny is the broadcast for the Pelicans, they kept saying, oh yeah, they're without Jokic. They're also without Christian Brown. I'm like, and Cameron Johnson too. Like, just forget about that. And I do think there's something to this, Ryan, that this team, they haven't been great since Jokic went down. I mean, the net rating says that they're mid, literally like mid. But Ryan, maybe that's just good enough. Like, just be mid. And then when you get to the end of games, do what you did today. Lock in defensively, go to your high-level shot makers. Like, apparently you got Kobe Bryant on the roster with a 114 with 40 seconds left, bailout pass, and over his strong shoulder bucket to basically put the game away.
Just a 6 shot. And like we probably haven't talked enough about Peyton overall in this show. I know you're trying to repress the feeling just a little bit in terms of the overall desire to go off. Let me do it for you. 30 points for Jalen, or not Jalen Pickett. 30 points for Peyton Watson on 11 of 16 from the field. He started this game 10 of 13, was 7 of 8 from the line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Just filled up the box score, was plus 14 in 39 minutes in a game the Nuggets won by 6. Like, he was valuable tonight and did a lot of things for Denver. And one of the only reasons why Denver was in this game in the first half to begin with. He had 15 points in the second quarter alone. And like, that's a new layer. It just is. It's a new layer to the game that you're not really expecting from Peyton. Is just, hey, I can put you on the back in a quarter, in a stretch of time, and just go get buckets and points over and over and over again. So, I mean, I said it earlier today, like, I looked up and saw that he had 27 points and didn't really think too much of it at one point. And then realized, wait, he's got 27 points late in the third quarter. This is a big deal. This is a big deal, what he is doing and kind of the levels he is now reaching. So we should not gloss over it. This, like, every step in the journey is a valuable one. And I'm so glad that we get to watch this from him and have him see this opportunity, and the Nuggets get to see this opportunity too.
Yeah, and I did a show earlier detailing, him getting player of the week and all that and why that's so important.
You did.
This is an in-house development story, man. And like, I had a conversation on Player's Choice where someone felt like not many American players get an opportunity to develop in this league. And I'm just kind of like, well, I didn't agree with that. But I think Peyton Watson is like very clearly like, this dude was not a nobody. People knew who he was in college, but he wasn't he was very, very overdrafted by Denver, and he may have fallen rather far in the draft if Denver didn't take him, just because of the scenario. Like, you didn't show anything in college. Like, you didn't get a chance to, at least. And I think what I did say on my show earlier, Ryan, is that I think Peyton Watson, this shows just how tough he is, how much he cares. He has spent years now with Jokic and Murray and Gordon. And I think he, instead of just being a bystander of greatness, he has actively involved himself in developing a better basketball IQ, developing skills, and learning how to make winning plays while he was sitting on the bench and learning. So for me, this is just such a tremendous growth story. And this is why I feel like this is permanent and not about like the results. It's the process for me. The process of how you get better, and the process of what you go and work on every summer, and the process of how you approach even games like today. There was in the fourth quarter where he opened up multiple back-to-back good looks for the Denver Nuggets today offensively, and he didn't take a shot. And I was just like, That's what David Adelman and them were looking to do in the preseason with you, and now you're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a big point. Like he was getting these opportunities in the preseason, and then like it was good. There were some good things, there were some bad things, and then regular season hits, and he kind of goes into this weird role playing the fifth option basically in the lineup with Murray, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway, Jonas Valanciunas, and him. And so I'm not surprised that it took him a little bit long to kind of get into this place. But I mean, the skill development is clearly there. The willingness is clearly there. He has shown an ability to scale both up as an offensive player and up as a defensive player at various points, and really focusing on each of those things. And so, look, I said this earlier on Pickaxe. I'm not sure if he's going to be an all-star. I'm not sure if he's ever going to reach that high level. I kind of think he's more in that tier of like a Gerald Wallace, a Shane Battier, like kind of in one of those sorts of tiers in terms of like a Nicholas Batum, for example, a super high value like support player for like if you're going to win a championship, you need one of those guys. You need one of those guys to be very capable. But like doesn't mean that he can't do it on Denver. Like that's a thing that he can absolutely do. And like the ceiling is already clearly there. Like he has shown some great levels to this. And I'm so excited for him. I'm excited for what this means for the rest of his career. He's earning tens of millions of dollars in this stretch. And I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think he's already the fourth most talented player on the roster. So I think that says a lot about where he is at 23 years old. But y'all, that's going to do it here for Locked On Nuggets. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Make sure if you're listening to us on the audio side to give us a 5-star review. That is Ryan. I'm Swipa. Y'all know what time it is. See you on the other side.